Welcome back, Bandits. Today, we're going to talk about different structures, different tournament structures, and how you should be drafting differently in each of these. But let's start off with our intro video.
Oh?
Welcome back to Best Ball Bandit. My name is Eddie. I am your host. Thanks for tuning in. I hopped into a draft. It's my first puppy that I've done. I've been drafting a lot of Best Ball Mania, been drafting a lot of the two-entry tournaments, single-entry tournaments, the $100 three-entry tournaments, but I haven't done any puppies. So I hopped into a puppy, and we're going to talk about different structures today, how you should be drafting based on first-round advancements. So it should be completely different if 2 out of 12 advance, if 4 out of 12 advance, if 1 out of 12 advance. I know there's a tournament right now where it's 1 out of 12 advance. I believe it's the Mini Golden. So it just depends on the strategy. Mini Golden is 1 out of 12, 1 out of 5, 1 out of 4, and then 47 seat final. The puppy tournament is pretty standard. It's going to be similar to Best Ball Mania. The fast puppy that we just hopped into is going to be 2 out of 12, 1 out of 10, 1 out of 10, and then 375 seat final. So what does that mean? You definitely want to capitalize on the different structures of these tournaments. So for instance, and I'm going to share my screen, we did hop into a draft, and let's see. It's loading now. So I'm going to share the draft board so you can see, and we can talk through the process here. But if you are going to be in a tournament where 4 out of 12 advance, then it's a little bit easier to get away with having, one good running back or only one good quarterback, because, 4 out of 12 advance. So it is going to be a lot easier to advance if you don't have, let's say a second good running back, or let's say there's only one good quarterback that's hitting your lineup every week, versus if it's 1 out of 12 or 2 out of 12, you definitely want to have a unique structure, but you definitely want to make sure that you're creating a team with enough firepower to advance. So we're going to pick, so if y'all can see the draft board here, we went with CeeDee Lamb to start off, Ken Walker, and now we're going to go with one of my favorite picks on the board right now, Travis Etienne. He does have a week 8 bye, which is great, different bye week from Ken Walker. I feel like they're both going to be pivotal, focus points of the offenses, both in good offenses. The Saints should have a good offense this year with Tyler Shough, Chris Olave, and then, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. So the Chiefs are going to do what the Chiefs do on a yearly basis. They got some good rookies as well. Jordan Tyson is going to be, obviously with the Saints once again. And I think we're going to go another running back. We're going to go Javonte Williams. So we actually want a unique build here. We want elite wide receiver, then running back, running back, running back. I'm probably going to stop at 5 running backs with this structure. I'm probably going to get 9 wide receivers, and I'm going to get 2 quarterbacks and 3 tight ends, just thinking of how this build started. I am going to try to get Dak Prescott, which I haven't really gotten a lot of Dak Prescott, but I did go Javonte. I did go CeeDee Lamb. You want to bet on offenses that you would think are going to be doing good. I definitely think the Cowboys are going to have a great season. I think that the Chiefs are going to have a great season. I think the New Orleans Saints in their division, they're going to have a good season as well. And you definitely want to pay attention to, week 15 through 17 as well. That playoff schedule, who those teams are going to be playing. What's the strength of schedule for the running backs, wide receivers, quarterbacks during that time frame? So those are all things to consider, but we're talking about the structure right now. So in a 2 out of 12 structure, going back to the structure that we're currently drafting right now, I do want to basically win out on 3 of the 4 positions. So right now I'm saying I'm winning the running back position in this draft room. I I want to win the tight end position, and then I also want to win the wide receiver position. So I do want to win 3 out of the 4 positions. I'm going to wait on quarterback probably until the later rounds, round 10 and 11, because some structures here, they're too conservative. You know, the 2-hole drafter has Bijan, Pickens, tight end, running back. That's not going to get you to advance. You need to hope that one of these late running backs do come together and come along, give you points that you didn't expect. A tight end gives you a few touchdowns extra a year that you didn't expect. But if you're going with the same structure that a lot of people are going and starting off with, it's not really going to be beneficial. I like the number 1 hole drafter, what they did. They went 4 running backs, 1 wide receiver, similar to what I started with. I do think that's a smart strategy, or going the reverse, 4 wide receivers and 1 running back, as the Jefferson drafter is currently doing, and the JSN drafter, I think, has 3 and 1 also. So you definitely want to create unique builds. The ones that have, Josh Allen, 2 wide receivers, 1 running back, it's going to be hard for them to separate themselves from the field. In those draft rooms, or in those tournaments rather, once again, where 4 out of 12 advance, it is going to be different from the 2 out of 12, and it's going to be different from the 1 out of 12. For the 1 out of 12, you definitely want to dominate, once again, those positions, 3 out of the 4 positions. In the 4 out of 12, you could actually be more conservative, and you could also be more aggressive. You can go with just 1 quarterback and not get a second quarterback, because 4 out of the 12 teams are going to advance. You can get 1 elite tight end with a Brock Bowers and hope that he pulls you through the rest of the season. You can go 1 quarterback, one tight end, and then get 7 and 7, or 8 and 8 rather, in the wide receiver and running back room. So there are a lot of different options and opportunities that you can do given the structures. I'm going to go Christian Watson. I'd like to pair him with Jordan Love later on. That is a late round quarterback that I do like to target. There are hopefully a couple other wide receivers that would be coming back to me with the next pick. I did pick out of the 10 hole, and CeeDee Lamb actually made it to me in the 10 hole. So I was, definitely happy about that. So Tate, I wanted Brian Thomas Jr. Unfortunately, he did not fall to me. But I will go Rome Odunze. This is a nice compensation, being able to get Rome Odunze. I love the value that we got here for Rome Odunze. He has an ADP, maybe not a huge ADP dip by no means, but he has an ADP of 60. We picked him at 63. We're going to do a little siren action here for steal of the draft. And once again, we got 3 wide receivers now, 3 running backs, and we have 3 stud running backs and 3 stud wide receivers. The Green Bay Packers do play the Bears, which I like that we're able to get some correlation for week 17. And I did actually have some week 17. I had a page pulled up here, so let me just pull that back up here again. All right. So we're back out of here. I'm going to check my phone instead. Yeah, so the Bears, they're playing the Bills, Packers, and Lions. So we have some correlation with week 16, which I personally think week 16 is more important than week 17. You can't win week 17 if you don't win week 6. That's a tongue twister. You can't win week 17 if you don't win and advance in week 16. So I like to focus a lot last year, which I did on week 15, week 16. I was lucky enough to win first place in the pointer last year. I got first place out of over 20,000 contestants, entries, and I got 10th place in the Chow Chow as well. So had a good year last year, had 2 teams in the finals in the puppy tournament. So it was definitely a good year for best ball fantasy football. So Dak Prescott, Caleb Williams are both available. Caleb just goes, and Metcalf just goes. I'm actually going to go Courtland Sutton. I'm going to pick Courtland Sutton. I'm going to hope that Dak does come back around. One of the drafters does have 2 quarterbacks, and I could wait for Bo Nix, Jordan Love later on. So I'm not going to panic and get Dak. I wanted that 4th wide receiver. And Dak Prescott came back around to us. We're gonna ring the siren. Dak Prescott has an ADP of 86. We are currently picking. I picked 87. I'm sorry. Dak Prescott has an ADP of 80.6. We're currently picking at 87. That's another steal of the draft. Welcome to the Best Ball Bandit Squad, Dak Prescott. So we got Dak Prescott. We got CeeDee Lamb. We got Williams. You know, Javonte he's going to be the bell cow. So we'll take him. I haven't been drafting him a lot in this team. I did want to, have a little bit of a unique build. I would have normally gone Malik Neighbors there and had some correlation, but I didn't want to go 3 running backs to start off. We got Christian Watson. We got Rome Odunze. We got Courtland Sutton. We got tall players that get in the end zone, that score touchdowns, and that's what we want here in the Best Ball Bandit Squad. So through 8 rounds, we got 4 wide receivers, 3 running backs, and 1 quarterback. It does allow me to get some players that I like later on. I'm going to queue up some of those players because drafting from the computer is different from drafting from your phone. So we said we wanted to win 3 out of the 4 positions. So what are we going to do? We're going to try exactly that. We're going to try to win 3 out of the 4 positions. I feel like we're winning already with the quarterback having Dak Prescott follow us. We're winning in the running back room. We're winning in the wide receiver room. I mean, what's the difference between my wide receiver room and the JSN drafter that has JSN, Drake London, Rashee Rice? We have CeeDee Lamb, Christian Watson, Rome Odunze, and Courtland Sutton. I actually like my wide receiver room along with his. He has Marvin Harrison. I love that. I'm not saying it's a bad wide receiver room, but then we also have 3 stud running backs to go along with it. Ooh, I like what the number 1 drafter did. He did go Alec Pierce. He went Wilson and Michael Pittman Jr., which I wanted to Michael Pittman Jr. Bo Nix just goes, so we're not able to get Bo Nix, which would have been a nice stack with Courtland Sutton. But we have some options coming around the corner here. I did want Kyle Pitts. He was queued up for me. But we're going to go George Kittle. We're going to go George Kittle. It's okay to reach on elite tight ends when you need to. I pick once again at 130. So I pick 130. Travis Kelce is not going to be there. So we just dominated the tight end position as well. So we went elite double tight end, George Kittle, Travis Kelce. These tight ends, we used to pay round 5 prices for. We used to pay a round 5 price for George Kittle, round 5 or higher for Travis Kelce. We're getting them in the 9th and 10th round, and I reached for them. You can get them in the 10th, 11th round, even later. You were able to get Travis Kelce in the 12th round earlier in the draft season. I really like this build right now. I got 2 stud tight ends that get in the end zone. I got an elite quarterback. I got 4 elite wide receivers, 3 elite running backs. I paired Kenneth Walker with Travis Kelce. We have Javonte Williams with CeeDee Lamb and also Dak Prescott. Some correlation with Christian Watson and Rome Odunze week 16. I'm liking the build so far for this team. We're going to try to get another player that I'm eyeing, and if you can follow us, that would be amazing. So Jackson Dart did fall quite a bit, and I'm surprised that the Malik Nabers drafter didn't get him. He went 115. That's a huge value for that drafter. Jackson Dart has an ADP of 100. He went 115. Once again, that's a great value for that drafter. I'm going to start queuing up some players that I like. So I'm 6 picks away. There's 4 players that I would really like if they can follow me. That would be amazing. And one of them just goes right now in Jordan Mason. So once again, I do feel like going the same position back to back to back does provide you a benefit because you're kind of bullying the room where I went 3 running backs, people panic, then they have to get a running back. I went wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver. People panic once again. And I'm 1 pick away. I am 1 pick away. And I got the player that I wanted. This is amazing. I was going to get Jaden Higgins earlier instead of going Travis Kelce. And I got the player that I wanted to get around, basically a whole full round ahead of. He was an ADP of 123. We got him at 130, people. Let's sound the siren. Jaden Higgins, welcome to the Best Ball Bandit squad. I am loving this team right now. We're dominating every position. We're dominating tight end. We're dominating wide receiver. We're dominating the running back room. We're dominating the quarterback room. And we're going to keep dominating the tight end room because we're going with a correlation. Week 17, Dallas Cowboys playing the New York Football Giants. Isaiah Likely, welcome to the Best Ball Bandit squad. And 2 tight ends were picked beforehand. Jake Ferguson, that's fine. I don't need to stack him with Dak Prescott. I actually prefer Isaiah Likely instead. We're betting on Javonte Williams and CeeDee Lamb already for that week 17, and we're hoping that Isaiah Likely comes back and scores 2 touchdowns. We have 3 elite tight ends that could hit the lineup any week, and I am going to say Isaiah Likely is elite because he was not targeted a lot in, of course, Baltimore Ravens, being alongside Mark Andrews. I think he is going to really break out and be a focal point of the Giants, especially early on when Malik Nabers is either A, not going to be playing or recovering from an injury and not fully healthy. So I love that pickup there. We have 5 wide receivers, 3 running backs, and 3 tight ends, 1 quarterback. I did want to go CJ Stroud. I went Isaiah Likely instead, which is, I'm not worried about that. I'm not too sad. We will find other quarterbacks later on that we can pair. There's a few in mind, but I'll just name a couple names. Geno Smith, I'm fine with pairing him with a back stack. Daniel Jones, I love. He's already reported being healthy. Deshaun Watson, we can definitely get some Deshaun Watson on this team. I'm going to go probably a couple running backs. I like Bryce Young as well. Let's see what falls to us. We're going to play the room, and Florent has been going up and up. Not a huge fan, but, I don't think he's a bad pick. I don't think he's a good pick. I just think he's whatever. He's going to be the fourth option for the Dallas Cowboys, so a lot has to happen for him to benefit from any injuries or playing time. But welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. I've been playing a lot of golf lately. Been creating a lot of golf content. I have a website for golf merchandise, tournaments down here in Miami, and been recording some content for social media as well. But I'm back to drafting. It's drafting season. So there are a couple of strategies that I'm debating right now, whether to go quarterback with Daniel Jones if he makes it to me. Okay, so Zach Charbonnet was a player that I was thinking of getting on the way back. And I don't know what just happened there. I wanted to go Tajay Spears, and it clicked Daniel Jones. I tried to switch the queue. Wasn't fast enough, and that's definitely not something that I wanted to do. I wanted to go Tajay Spears there. So that's kind of disappointing. I am on the clock. We're going to go Cam Ward. Actually, we're going to go Trey Tucker. We're going to go Trey Tucker. I like Daniel Jones. He runs the ball. I have 3 elite running backs already, but I definitely wanted Tajay Spears or Zach Charbonnet. That's a problem for queuing up players. I tried to switch it, and when you're streaming as well, it's quite hard to look at all the screens. But Zach Charbonnet, Daniel Jones, and Tajay Spears were all my queue. Once Zach Charbonnet went, I tried to switch Tajay Spears and Daniel Jones, and it froze on me. The drafter behind me, I noticed, had 2 quarterbacks already, and he had Josh Downs, so I knew he wasn't going to go a third quarterback at that point. He did only have 1 running back. I'm sorry, he did only have – actually, he had 4 running backs already at that point. So that was a good pickup by them getting Tajay Spears. Their wide receiver room is light, but I do actually like that person's team. They have a unique build as well. 2 elite quarterbacks early. So let's see. We're going to try to go with either Kirk Cousins or let's see what falls to us. So on this team, I'm fine with going 5 running backs. The structure I'm probably going to end with is going to be a 3-5. That's 8. 3 tight ends. That's 11, and 7 wide receivers. So we probably tack on 1 more wide receiver and 2 more running backs. There are a couple running backs that I have in mind. And Brian Robinson was one of them. I was thinking of A.D. Mitchell. He's been getting some great buzz. That Tajay Spears pick, I mean, it's not like Tajay Spears is Chris Johnson or Derrick Henry in the Titans, but I wish I would have been able to get that pick back. And that's why it's important to see the drafters behind you, what they're doing. I am on the clock, and I'm going to go Fernando Mendoza as my third and final quarterback. I feel like he'll be a late season upside. I got him stacked with Trey Tucker. And then I'm going to go with Malik Washington as my final wide receiver. So my wide receiver room is CeeDee Lamb, Christian Watson, Rome Odunze, Courtland Sutton, Jaden Higgins, Trey Tucker, and Malik Washington. Tight end, George Kittle, Travis Kelce, Isaiah Likely. And then quarterback room is Dak Prescott, Daniel Jones, and Fernando Mendoza. So Fernando Mendoza is, I'm from Miami, so he's from Miami originally. He went to high school here. But I feel like he's going to have a good schedule later on in the playoffs he's going to break out later on when it's the fantasy playoffs. And his schedule, he has a 13th easiest schedule for a quarterback. Dak Prescott has the 12th easiest schedule for a quarterback. So you definitely want to be paying attention to who these teams are playing later on. And then Daniel Jones, Indianapolis has the 15th easiest schedule for a quarterback as well. So you definitely want to be, mindful and paying attention to who these teams are playing. There are a couple running backs that I have queued up that hopefully, make it to my pick on the next come around. But we're going to end with two running backs. So we're ending this team with running back. So just reviewing the other teams, the 12 hole did a similar structure to me. He has Godwin, Lawrence, Brian Thomas, Tate, and Buka, and then three good running backs. So I actually I'm not a huge on Buka, and Tate's going to come along later. So I actually like my team a little bit better than his. There's some good drafters. There's some good teams here that I'm seeing. But once again, we came out trying to dominate 3 of the 4 positions, and I feel like we did that. We're going Mike Washington. If anything happens to Genty, he's going to be the next man up. We got Fernando Mendoza, and we also got Trey Tucker. We're betting on the Las Vegas Raiders. And then our 5th and final running back is Braylon Allen. Once again, if anything happens to Breece Hall, Braylon Allen has already shown that he could carry the football. He is a big body. He's a young, prospect still. So that's our final team. I do like this team. I do like how we dominated the positions. I feel like we still went elite tight end without going a tight end in the first couple rounds. Like the person that goes Brock Bowers, you're sacrificing a second round pick. They could have gone with Nico Collins. They could have gone with George Pickens. They could have gone with, dominate the wide receiver position. I just feel like going tight end so early just sacrificed so much value in the second and third round. Even Trey McBride, they started off with Bijan Robinson, George Pickens. So they're, a structure that's all over the place. They're not really dominating any one position. The JSN drafter did get Loveland a little bit later. So they, they did build a good team. But let's do a recap of the team. I definitely like the team that we created here. We start off with CeeDee Lamb, Kenneth Walker III, Travis Etienne Jr., Javonte Williams, Christian Watson, Roma Dunze, Courtland Sutton, Dak Prescott to pair with Javonte Williams and CeeDee Lamb. We got already through 7 rounds, 4 elite wide receivers, 3 elite running backs, Dak Prescott to be paired, Kittle, Travis Kelce, 2 elite tight ends. Jaden Higgins, I feel like is a steal in the 11th round pick, 130 overall. Isaiah Likely, another elite tight end. Daniel Jones, Trey Tucker, Fernando Mendoza, Malik Washington, and then Mike Washington Jr. and Braylon Allen. So what we always do in this channel, we're going to project points here. We're going to say we're going to get 20 points from our quarterback. Then with our running backs, we're going to get another, I'm loving this running back room. I'm really going to say we're going to get 15 and 15 on a weekly basis. That's 50. We could get 70 points from our wide receiver room. That's 120 already. And then 15 points from our tight end. That's 135. If we average 135 points every week, we are making the playoffs. So thank you all for tuning in. Please like, subscribe. Would really appreciate it. I also have a website, bestballbandit.com, with all my rankings, player takes, and draft strategy. So would appreciate if you subscribe to the channel, like, and see you all soon.